Okay, so before we also begin, or the title screen, there's two things I need to note. One, this video is being recorded on this last Sunday, aka October the 19th, if I'm correct with that. Because I just want to get this video done and get my thoughts out of the way. Plus, also, the reason why it's being released late is so that way my review, don't get truly boggled up with the other people's reviews here. So it's going to be released today, aka Wednesday, so deal with it. Second, even though I did beat the game and the main story, I haven't done the epilogue stuff. I only am going to focus on the main story only, and that's it. Although to be fair, really I don't know much about it anyways. So with that being said, to clarify, I will not be talking about the epilogue, which I really don't think we need it. And this video is literally coming out the day I've completed this game. The reason why it's coming out late is because of the reviews. And let's be real here, we all know that every review, especially even before this video being recorded, has been very mixed. And honestly, it's no secret why. Because this has been definitely one of the most divisive Switch 2 games in general. Hell, this might be even more divisive than the Mario Kart World situation. And the reason why is due to the leading towards ZA, and of course, how many people feeling about the Switch 2 right now. And honestly, I'm just going to come out and say this. The game isn't horrible. However, as you guys may have noticed from my recent comment I also posted today at the time recording, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking mixed as well. Like, it's not bad. I'm gonna straight up say it, it's not bad. However, I'm going to be legitimately be real with you. Even though I am going to give it a high ranking, this is not really an A+ game or anything, to say the least. And that is so sad because even though I did enjoy it, I think it's a good Pokemon game. It's actually better than the previous ones so far that I played, such as Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. It's definitely an understandably mixed game. And what's even more unfortunate is the fact that, as many people would know, my favorite video game of all time, no matter what, is Pokemon Y. And of course, yes, you could say, what about X and, Pokemon X and Y, whatever. We don't need to be too specific here. But yes, my favorite generation is Generation 6. And honestly, the first game, even though it did have hiccups, it really was a good generation for me. It was my true starting generation. I love Pokemon Y, and thanks to that game, I got into the video game series. Of course, I also been clarified that I didn't get into the series through the video games. I actually got through it through the card game instead. But, I was definitely hopeful, unlike most, when they announced a Kalos return. And honestly, I do agree, though, it was definitely the weirdest, especially since many wanted black and white. And now I bet a lot of people still want black and white after this game. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the positives. First off, the game runs smoothly even without the Switch 2 update. Worst of all, the Switch 2 update, I actually recommend it. Because shockingly, it runs better with it. But it actually still runs fine, to say the least. Honestly, if you're doing the normal route, which what I did, because I didn't pay $100, I paid for the $90 game, which we'll get to in a bit. It runs smoothly. It actually does run smoothly. The new Pokemon evolutions, we'll get to it more in a bit as well, but for the most part, honestly, most of them are pretty good. There's no doubt there's duds. Like, the biggest dud at all, which isn't even a spoiler, it's just something people now just generally know, even if you haven't picked up the game, has to be Starmine's Mega Evolution, because that is the most dumbest evolution they ever created at all. It doesn't even tell you what typing it is, and it just gives Star you some legs. That's it. Like, even I agree that's gotta be the most dumbest Mega Evolution. And I also justifiably agree that many would disagree that some of the evolutions not are are not good. There definitely are some duds, depending on who you ask. Other than the fact Starmie, which we all agree, suck balls. There's no denying that. And honestly, even that Mega Evolution is a good example of just how bad. Like, it's the true symbol of how mixed this game is. Because on one hand, hey, it's getting a cool Mega Evolution. Or, it's getting Mega Evolution, which is cool. The other hand, it's designed like shit. And that's pretty much the best way to describe this thing. Because when people are saying they're mixed about it, holy crap, they're not lying. For starters, the pricing. Again, the game is actually, for clarification, is $60 for the base game. However, if you pre-order it all the way, you either are going to pay $100 for this, for the Switch 2 and DLC, or the normal bucks, which is $90 for DLC and normal game. I pay 90, and that is the biggest debate of all. As you can see, even the title of this video: is this game worth $100? Depends. It really is depends. Me personally, I can't say. I really can't, because on one hand, this is a fucking guy who paid $90 for this game, not 100, because I'm not going to risk too much for that. But this guy right here did pay fucking $90. So hey, lucky you. I'm reviewing this shit. And second, again, this game is so mixed. I don't even know if I could put the price tag on it, because it's very divisive. And the reason for that is due to two heavy major things, and as the art direction and the story direction. Now, the art direction for me, I don't give two shits. I think it looks great, but don't get it twisted. I do see why people see it as shit. Holy fuck, this thing looks like garbage as hell. It's a special kind of beauty garbage, honestly, the best way I can describe it. But yeah, I can't deny it. I'm okay with it. It's fine. But holy crap, if you're going in here thinking it's going to be beautiful as like XY, or even more worse comparing to Scarlet and Violet, I got some bad news for you. It's not. In fact, it feels like they tried to do the same thing as in Scarlet and Violet, but the only reason why Scarlet and Violet worked in that way was because it was more beautiful and light and colorful, even outside of Paldea. It really was beautiful and colorful. Meanwhile, Kalos is a city. It's not even a region. It's a city. Well, not Kalos. Kalos is the region. I meant Lumiose City. It's a city. So it makes sense to have it dull and all that. But try to explain that to a normal person. Like, even the first game, Legends Arceus, made sense for its art design, and many people can back that up. Here, it's even hard to say it makes sense because of the city, because, hey, have you seen downtown Greenville? I mean, okay, be fair, it's a downtown, but I jokingly call that a city if you ever been into that place. Real talk. But yeah, not every city is going to look dull as fuck. That's the thing. And again, it's manageable. It's truly manageable. And I do like how it evolves as further you go in the story, but it's like, the art direction is mixed. And that also goes with the story as well. The story is... Okay, to be fair, I won't spoil anything, truly, because I really recommend seeing a bit of the story. But to give you an idea, remember that Metacritic thing you heard earlier this last week about how I forgot what gaming journalist was from, and of course Spawnwave announced it last week at the recording of this video, though I don't know if he's gonna do a usual members only thing like he do with all his videos. But remember when that one review said, oh, it goes back to its quirkily fun thing? Yeah, they were being serious with their jackass commentary of sarcasm, because, oh boy, the whiplash. This game has okay jokes. It's not that bad, But when they're saying quirky, bad sense of humor, they're not joking. It's really is like it gets to a point of annoyance. Like some of the jokes are fine, but then it's like, oh my god, can we get to an actual serious moment here? And I get it, it's Pokemon. But that's not good compared to the Scarlet and Violet story, which was actually serious when it needed. Yeah, it had some jokes too. I mean, especially with your rival character in that game. But for fuck's sake, it was still serious. Had some serious moments. And don't get it twisted, does have some. But this leads into the second issue with the story and this other backlash, or whiplash, and that is the story really feels so messy. Like the characters at first glance and truly in depth, they do have some good potential. They actually have some great ideas with it. I can't spoil any of them because actually some of them are pretty good. I actually have two Pacific favorite ones that I think really does a great job. But the reason why I'm not even going to spoil it because only one character I knew good and well where it was going with, and they did go with it. However, it feels, and there was also another one that definitely took it where it was going, but that's the thing. They missed the potential. They didn't go where many people would think they would go at all. And I can't spoil it at all because really it's just that bad. At one hand, you think it's going to this direction, but the other, but in reality, it goes to the completely opposite that you could never even imagine, and not in a good way. That's not bad. I mean, taking, you know, um, um, avoiding expectations is fine, you know, but not like that. It's really bizarre and it's not like pretty good. Again, the characters are fine. Actually, I do like them. I actually have two favorite characters out of it. I won't say who they are, but mainly they're pretty good to my opinion. It's just they don't take it at all with what they're trying to present. And even then it caught, like I said, the whole story is whiplash. It's a very divisive story. Like the ending is fine and all. I won't spoil it, but like I said, it pretty much ends the way it was not surprising it ended. But even then, it feels like whiplash on how they told it, which is weird. Like, don't get it twisted. I won't spoil anything much, but the final battle is okay. Although the boss does kind of suck a little, but hey, at least it functions, and it actually was pretty good. It actually is pretty good. I'll definitely be posting it later on the Gear They channel of the boss, some of the boss fights, because it actually is pretty good. But still, it's not good enough, and that's me. I don't know about anyone else, but I could definitely agree to see them saying it looks like bullshit, and that's the problem here. And that pairs to the biggest negative, and that is the battle system. And to be honest, before people panic, there is one silver lining. It is fine. It's not hard to learn or master. It's actually pretty easy. Problem is fucking annoying. For context, they basically were trying to evolve, no pun intended, literally evolve and change up some of the stuff in Legends Arceus. Makes sense. This isn't Legends Arceus at all. There's two different situations with that, including time periods and all that. The problem is how they decided to upgrade the battle mechanics to modern era was piece of shit. For starters, you have really it feels like you don't actually have the freedom at all anymore when you're catching Pokemon. There are some good mechanics, such as if you KO a Pokemon, you can still catch it, but you have the risk of it disappearing if it's not caught, which honestly is not a big deal. It actually is a good idea in some cases, although it kind of does suck. But then there's like, you can't just randomly throw balls like you used to in Pokemon Legend Arceus. You're more locked down in ZA. You actually have to press two buttons and all that. And clarification, I might gain it wrong, but trust me, when I say the controls on how you catch Pokemon is very different than Legend Arceus, I mean it. It feels like in ZA you're locked down, where Legend Arceus you feel like there's nothing to say. That's not to say the battle mechanics are not problematic. I actually think some of the boss battles are awesome, although they are tricky and hard to master. But that leads into another issue with the battle system. It's the exact same. Like, no offense, but Moist Critical was correct to avoid this game. This thing was definitely the exact same. It's kind of funny too because in the trailers they're like, "Hey, this is a brand new battle system." And to be fair, they did tweak it up, but that's all they did. It's nothing brand new. It's still the exact same shit from Legends Arceus, just upgraded, and that's it. And that's pretty bad, to say the least. Then, of course, there's the fact of the Mega Evolutions, which isn't actually bad. It's well balanced, to say the least, but it also just feels like just a buff, and that's it. Granted, it makes sense. In fact, that's probably another positive to the battle system. But really, the Mega Evolutions, it's to say the least. Another kind of flaw too is they never actually explain how the Pokeballs work because they're using modern Pokeballs this time around, not the ones from Legend Arceus. Makes sense, but they never explain their true functions, and I feel like their functions are from the regular games, but they're not well suited for a Legends game, to say the least. And there's so many other stuff as well, such as you're going to get a lot of KO, and of course, again, like there's a whole lot of stuff wrong with the battle system. It's not bad, and it's completely fine, but it gets annoying. Heck, even the new the biggest complaint I have too, by the way, is the new battle arena thing they're added in. For context, in the game around nighttime, in order to continue the story, you need to get these challenger tickets through the battle system. To be fair, for the most part, it plays well. The problem is it's very annoying. Your main goal is to beat up trainers in a battle royale kind of thing. Pretty straightforward. You gotta sneak up on them and da-da-da. The problem is it gets very annoying, especially in the latter half. And not to mention, they put these guys in buildings and stuff, and I don't think buildings work in a game like this, honestly. It's not because they're not on top, which also is weird. It's just they put you in awkward situations where the trainer can spot you and stuff. I mean, I like some of the ideas they put into it, but it also doesn't function properly. Like the cards, like you get a card and it gets you more points. That's good enough. The problem is sometimes these cards are bullshit. Like, for example, you gotta use one Sipit type. One of my Pokemon don't have that one Sipit type move. As in, like, for example, you need a ground type Pokemon to ground type someone. Dude, I don't have even a ground type Pokemon for that. It's a very complex thing to explain, but that's kind of my point here. It's very sloppy. That's the best way I can say. It's a very mixed game, to say the least. Now, is it a horrible game? Depends on who you ask, but honestly, if you are playing this and having fun, yeah, it's not that bad. It honestly is an okay time, to say the least. I feel like I got my money's worth, to say the least, playing this game. I did love it, enjoyed it, but again, like I said, I'm also mixed about it because I can see the problems people are saying, especially since this is coming hot off the heels of not only Scarlet Violet, but also with the controversies involving Switch 2, which kind of upset me because even I will admit I was hoping this game would cap and save the Switch 2. I am not joking, but it didn't. And it frustrates me because, admittedly, I do love my Switch 2. I actually now have it. It's pretty fun. But, again, I can't even deny the controversies involving it because there are a lot of problems here that can't be denied. And I was hoping this would be the Band-Aid. Problem is, it wasn't even a Band-Aid on a corpse. It was a bullet to a corpse. Like, bang, bang, bang to a corpse. It's really yikes with this. But all in all, it's not a bad game. I give it a B+. It's really, I think it's a good showcase of what they can still do with the Legends game. Problem is, they've really mixed it up. Like, it really feels like they continued the story from Pokemon X and Y literally and put it in here. Because no offense to X and Y, I love the story as well, but X and Y story was just if not a little bit less worse than this. And I'm saying that literally, it wasn't that bad. But this story, on the other hand, was, and it really feels like they were trying to capture the same magic. I just don't think they got it correctly this time. But again, it's pretty fine. And as, like I said, I can't say if it is or isn't worth your dollars. But honestly, it all depends on what you think. My suggestion is just buy the $60 game first before getting the DLC. And then if you liked it, then you like it and you get the DLC. If you don't, yeah, you don't get the DLC. That's all I'm gonna say. And I am gonna review the DLC later, but when it comes out. But yeah. But anyways, this has been Floxcat snapping out of here, and yeah, I never expect Pokemon to make me feel mixed. Although to be fair, they have disappointed me. It's still not as bad as Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, because that game can suck my dick. See ya.